Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
Hello and welcome to this episode of our show. This is your host, Keith Doherty. Today our special guest is top real estate broker Dan Firks of RE/MAX of Naperville and RE/MAX Enterprises based out of Naperville, Illinois. Dan has been specializing in the Naperville market for more than 20 years now, and he ranked in the top 1% of Realtors Nationwide. He is a member of the RE/MAX Hall of Fame, the Chairman's Club, as well as the Platinum Club. He has been voted as Top Agent Chicago Magazine 5 years running. All right, with all that said, Dan, welcome to the show.
Glad to be here, Keith. How are you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing excellent. How about yourself?
Fantastic. Thank you for asking.
Excellent, Dan. I guess if we could start for our listeners, what led you into real estate? Was it something that you always knew you wanted to do, or did you maybe stumble into it?
Somewhat stumbled into it, Keith. I was in the food service industry for about 10 years, working at restaurants, bartending, and I just love to talk to people, listen to people, and, take care of people and see what I can do to help them out. And that ended up, focusing a little bit more on what can I do to do a little bit more of that and go above and beyond, and started talking to people and talked to a lot of friends, some other, family members that were in real estate, and I thought, this might be something I might be interested in, and got my license, started talking to people, looking at houses, and it's the best job in the world.
Excellent, Dan. Do you think you could talk a little bit about what personal attributes, traits, or qualities you think have most contributed to the success you've had in real estate?
I would have to say, being able to listen to people and really understand what they're looking for when it's coming to purchasing a house or what they want to do with selling a house. You just got to focus on what your clients are looking for or needing out of you as a realtor, of what's going to suit you best and what's going to suit your client best, and it's going to be a win-win for the buyer and for the seller.
Excellent. Well, Dan, do you think you could give an example for our listeners of when these traits have played a role in your path towards success?
Absolutely, Keith. I would say I work with a lot of relocation clients from all over the world, and when they come into Naperville, they don't know anything about the community, the schools, what the city offers. So it's very important that you listen to what they're looking for before they even come into Naperville. So when they get here, you can take them around to the community, show them, for instance, if they say that they want a pool community, then you want to focus on the pool communities. You want to get the information about, when the pools are opening, when they're closing, how much does it cost to join the pool membership, and, listen to them, what they're saying, what they're looking for. And so when they get here, you can actually show them the things that their needs require, and you're not wasting their time showing them properties that they're not interested in. And this will make them feel like you are a specialist in your area.
Excellent. And obviously, Dan, when it comes to success, usually not everybody has a smooth path to get there. Obviously, with you being in the business for 20 years, you've seen up and down markets along the way. So can you talk a little bit about some of the major adversities or trials that you had to overcome in order to achieve your goals?
Well, we all know we had that lovely recession back in 2007 and 8. So that was a little bit on the challenging side, and we had to go, do a little bit more training on the foreclosures and the short sales and the process that's involved with a short sale or a foreclosure, and it's completely different than your traditional sale. So that was a little bit of a roller coaster ride, but with the technologies out there and the classes, it was very easy to take a couple classes, get a little educated, and then believe it or not, 2008 and 2009 were the start of my boom career, if you like to say that, where I started selling the most houses that I've ever sold in my career.
Excellent. And I guess, as you hit these obstacles, as, this market came at you, it was obviously, a crash. Why didn't you give up? What was your driving force?
Well, I've never been one of those people that give up. I was in the military back in '87. I was a cook in the United States Navy, where I was responsible for feeding 228 people on a fast frigate, and, you don't give up. You every day you're on a schedule. This is what has to get done. This is what you have to do, and you just do it, and you do the best you can at it. So it's just, you just can't give up. It's not in me as a human being. It's just not who I am. It's just, you got to figure it out. And if you can't figure it out on yourself, pick up the phone, make some phone calls, and start networking with some of the other colleagues in the area, and you'll end up figuring it out.
Excellent. Well, Dan, obviously, we want to, thank you for your service. It obviously means a lot to everybody.
Appreciate that.
And I guess kind of looking forward, what do you see your vision for your career, say, over the next 5 years?
Well, I just brought on another team member, a buyer's agent, John Tavote, and I also have Janet Hall, which are two buyer's agents. And we've been doing some training. We've been doing some coaching. We're trying to build up our team. We're probably in the top, well, we're definitely in the top 1%, but I'd like to be, number one in Naperville. I'm getting pretty darn close. And, we just love helping everybody out. We love working as a team. We have a great staff. We're here 7 days a week. Our customer service is beyond pretty much any other realtor in the area, and just, we see ourselves growing. We're always looking for new members to join the team, and, sky's the limit here.
Excellent. And I guess kind of on top of that, what do you feel is the best way that you market yourself as a real estate professional so you can have continual growth?
Well, you got to be a little bit everywhere, Keith. I learned that in my 20 years of real estate. You don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. You want to do a little here, a little there. You'll see me in all the local magazines, the Glancer magazine, the Naperville magazine. I have 3 different TV commercials running on NCTV 17. I have a TV commercial running on Channel 888, which is Comcast, the new channel that just came to Chicagoland, which is a real estate channel. You'll see me involved in all the community events, all the charity events. We're pretty much out and about everywhere. You'll see us everywhere.
Excellent. And I think sometimes when it comes to real estate agents, the public has a certain misconception. They don't quite understand sometimes the value that you bring to the table and everything you can do for them. So can you talk a little bit about what you think the biggest misconception or myth that people have about working with a real estate agent?
I would have to say what I hear, in the pipeline, so to speak, would be, a lot of agents, they just put their sign up in front of the yard, and then the biggest complaint is, from what I hear, not from my team, of course, is like, yeah, they list their house, and now we haven't heard from them. I haven't heard from them in 3 months. The customer service with some of these agents, because people just get into real estate and they think it's an easy job, it's easy money, and that's very far from the truth. It's very dedicated, it's very time-consuming, but if you have your schedules right and your goals written down, it will not consume you. As long as you stay on schedule and stay focused, you'll be fine. So I said the biggest myth is, I hate to say this, but a lot of times, I've never been called this, but, real estate people are glorified car salespeople, and I don't believe that in any means. Obviously, it's very more detailed than that. So I would say the lack of customer service that some of these agents out there are giving.
Dan, let's say you get a call from a family member or a friend, and they're in another state, and they want to sell their home. And obviously with your extensive experience, and you probably have a network, and you could probably look up people and do a referral if you wanted. But from a general advice standpoint, what kind of advice would you give them about selecting an agent that could best serve their needs?
I would have them log on to a real estate website, maybe Realtor.com. Of course, Zillow website, Trulia website. Find out an agent that's selling a lot of houses in the neighborhoods that you're looking in. If you see them out there and you keep seeing the same person pop up, maybe Google their name, find out a little bit about them, see how long they've been doing what they've been doing. Obviously, if they have signs out all over the place and you see them all over the Internet, they're obviously doing pretty good.
Dan, obviously you're based out of Naperville. What specific area do you guys cover from a real estate services standpoint?
Well, I live here in Naperville. My office is here in Naperville. We probably cover, I would say, right around a 15-mile radius, anywhere from Plainfield up to Wheaton to the Fox Valley, St. Charles, Geneva, St. Batavia area. Aurora is right next door, which is the second largest city in Illinois. We're in Aurora quite a bit, so pretty much all the western suburbs.
Excellent. And if somebody needs real estate services or an agent in those areas, what's the best way they can find out more information about you and how you can help them?
DanFirks.com.
Excellent. Well, Dan, I obviously want to thank you for taking time out of your schedule to come here today and share all of your professional real estate experience with all of our listeners. And if you're listening and you want to learn more about Dan, like you said, you can go to his website. Also below this interview, we'll have a link to his site and any other contact information we have for Dan, so you can get in touch with him and see if you guys would be a good fit to work together. So with that said, everybody, until our next show, have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Keith.
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.